My name is Alistair Lee, and in this video, I'm going to walk through the new Simulive functionality in Adobe Connect. Simulive enables you to produce a live event that starts at a specific date and time, but have all of your content pre-recorded. You get the advantages of live, like interactivity. We can have Q&A, we can have polls and chat, but you know that demo is going to be perfect because it was recorded ahead of time. It enables you to localize content, ensure that you can deliver it across multiple different time zones. So let's take a look at setting this up in Adobe Connect. Simulive events are available through seminar rooms only. So I'm going to navigate to the seminars folder here in Adobe Connect and over to shared seminars. And then I'll select one of my seminar licenses that I've got on this account, and I'll create a new seminar room. Now, the event that I've pre-recorded is about custom pods. So I'll just call this Custom Pods in Adobe Connect and give it a custom URL here as well. There is an option now to enable a simulated live session. So that's what I'm going to click. I'll choose yes. And you'll notice when I do that, the ability for me to select a template is grayed out. These Simulive sessions have their own dedicated templates that we'll take a look at right now. I'm not going to change anything else on this page. I'll just hit finish, and we'll enter the seminar room. Okay, that has opened up this room on my desktop here. I'm using the Adobe Connect application, but I could also be using a web browser. The room has been opened up into standby mode because we haven't scheduled this seminar room yet. That's just fine. We don't need to have more than 10 people join, so I'll just dismiss this. This room has 3 different layouts, and you'll see that anytime that you select a simulated live event, it will have these same 3 layouts. We've got a lobby layout, and this will be what your participants see before the event begins. As soon as the event begins, and by default, it's scheduled to begin at the event start time, although we can adjust that if we want to give people an extra minute or two to join. We can set it to start, let's say, a minute after. I don't like starting it too late to respect the people that joined on time. As the event gets started, as we begin it, it will transition to the playback. And you'll notice we've got a video here that will play back. Probably don't want to include this video. It will play back this entire video, and then after the video has been completed, we've got an outro layout. So 3 different layouts by default, but we can actually design this room the same way that we would design any Adobe Connect room. We're not stuck with just these 3 layouts. As you'll see in a second, we can incorporate lots of different layouts, and we can still incorporate lots of different interactivity despite what these kind of default layouts might look like. So I'm going to take a second here to redesign my lobby layout and my outro layout. We'll fast forward that section so that you don't have to see me redesign this room, and then we'll come back in just a second. Okay, we've now got part of our room set up. I've designed a lobby layout. This is what my participants will see as they join and before we get started. We've added lots of interaction for them, including a chat, rock, paper, scissors game, a Wordle game. They can see when the session's going to begin. They know they're in the right place from this title or pod here. And then we've also got our outro designed. We've got the same title or pod. We've added a couple of different polls, a files pod where they can download any resources. They've still got access to Q&A and chat. Now let's handle our playback layouts. And I say layouts because even though it's only a single layout right now, we can stretch this across multiple different layouts. So the first thing I can see is that we've got some default content preloaded into the room. We don't want to keep this. There's a button here in the top right corner that enables me to swap this video out with my own. Now, I've already pre-recorded some content specifically for this Simulive event. You can try using a recording if you like, but I like pre-recording it. That way I can mix in my video, my demonstrations. If I go up a folder here, you can see I've actually pre-recorded a few different videos. I've got my intro along with a poll. I pre-recorded my presentation, and I also pre-recorded my demonstration. A lot of these are fairly large files, by the way. For a Simulive event in Adobe Connect, we can't use 3 separate files. We want to combine these into a single file. And so that's what I've done here. Is I've brought all of those into a video editor. I've exported it as an HD file, 1080p, but it's about 500 kilobits per second so that it is web friendly. It's going to play back very smoothly for anybody watching this session. And so I'll simply drag and drop this into my room. You can see automatically it picks up the time as well as the size. And when I hit done, it will then upload it to the room. Okay, we're now working with our uploaded video file. I can play this back to see how it looks. And right now, this layout just incorporates the video. But as I said, we can create interactivity in these sessions, even though it's Simulive and even though the content's going to be video. So I'm going to resize this video. We'll start by designing our introduction. And so I'm going to bring back that chat pod that we had on our lobby layout. I want to make sure the chat is always available. I'm going to add a Q&A pod as well. I want people to be able to ask questions throughout the session here. So I will add my Q&A pod. We'll put that right on top of the chat. In fact, for this introduction, I'm even going to bring back that welcome title that I'd incorporated into the original lobby layout, because we're still introducing the session. We're not getting into the content yet. So I'll make this a little bigger, stretch this video out a little more. An unfortunate pause there with the video. I'm going to add another custom pod here. This session is all about custom pods, so I like to use a lot. We'll add a housekeeping pod that we can use. I'll set this to my webinar defaults here. So we've added a layout here for the introduction, but we've also got polls, we've got presentations, we've got demonstrations. And what I'm able to do here is navigate to the part of the video where we go from an introduction to the poll. I happen to know that that's at 1 minute and 28 seconds, but I can simply find it here using the slider. And once I've found it, I can hit split layout. And that now creates a second playback layout. And I'm actually going to rename this first one to intro because that's what it is. And we'll name this second one poll. Now, I said it's at 1 minute and 28 seconds. I didn't get the split just right here, but I can actually just click on the timing here and change this from 150 to 128 and hit update. That's going to make it switch to the poll layout at exactly 1 minute and 28 seconds. Now, the poll layout, I don't want all of these same pods. Let's get rid of the housekeeping pod. So we will hide that. We'll get rid of the titler pod here. We'll hide that. I want to keep the Q&A and the chat, but we will move our video here and kind of make it a lot less subtle. Again, another unfortunate pause. Have a lot of those. We'll add a new titler pod to introduce our poll. And so now we've got a poll layout. Now, obviously, the pre-recorded video is not really going to be able to respond to the responses coming into the poll, but they're still able to provide that level of interactivity. After the poll, we've got a few minutes of the poll and at about 3 minutes and 10 seconds. So we'll just use the scrubber here to go to the 3 minute and 10 second mark. I'll just split it at 3:13 here. We can always refine that. There we go. we've got our presentation. So again, I can rename this to presentation. We'll get rid of the poll. We'll get rid of our title here. And we'll make the presentation content much larger. We're still keeping the Q&A pod. We want people to be able to ask questions. They came to a live event for a reason. They're still able to chat using the chat pod here, but they're able to see the presentation. And then finally, at about 6 minutes and 30 seconds, 6:29, I think, I go from my presentation to my demonstration. So again, I can do another split layout, and we'll call this one demo. And I can make further adjustments to this layout if I want for my demo. So now we started with those 3 default layouts, a lobby and an outro and some kind of playback, but we adjusted those playback layouts to incorporate interactivity, chat, Q&A, polls, and second layout, a presentation. And so we're able to, again, design this Simulive event the same way that we would design an Adobe Connect room. The difference here is that this runs automatically based on the timings that we've already set. If we want to see what this is going to look like, we can preview it by clicking this green play button here at the top. And I can hit simulate, and it's going to play. It opens up the backstage area because we've got some playback controls. You'll notice it's automatically going to start playback in 30 seconds. I've got a countdown here. If I want to start it now, I can hit start playback, and that's going to move us automatically to the playback. Let me hit pause here so that I'm not talking over myself. This will take us through the entire event. So we can play this back earlier just to make sure that all of the transitions are working exactly how we want them to work. Once we're happy, we can exit the room, and this event is going to be set up to play back automatically. Ideally, we'll have a producer in the session at the time to help answer questions. Maybe even the presenter, despite the fact that they pre-recorded their content, can join the session live to ensure they're able to answer questions and chat with the community that is in the session with them. It's a quick look at setting up a seminar room for a Simulive event in Adobe Connect. Thanks for your time.